UrbanBroadcastMedia.com Chicago.
And around the world where your voice is heard. This is UBM Talk.
Join Dee Dee Azabor every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. for My Sister Talking as we discuss the issues and disparities of women in recovery. Plug in to hear about different experiences and success stories from people who have overcome the challenges of reconnecting with society, family, friends, and have repaved their path. Heal your own heart and spirit by joining the conversation with My Sister Talking every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right here on UBM Talk.
Hey everybody, check us out Monday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. for the new radio show Rated Life with
it's your boy Morris Spicer,
your boy Dex Pierce, Mrs. Just My Thoughts,
Pat Price,
and me, your girl Lex.
Lex, what are we gonna be talking about?
Everything is life, yes.
Wait, no, I ain't gonna do it.
Do it for Rated Life.
I ain't gonna do it.
Do it for Rated Life.
I ain't gonna do it.
Anyway, just make sure that you tune in to UBM Talk at UrbanBroadcastMedia.com and join our Rated Life Facebook page for more information. It's Rated Life, y'all.
Hello, everyone. My name is Zoe. I'm the host of the Hearts of Men Intimate Talk Hour, heard every Saturday at 5 o'clock on UBM Talk. This hour is designed to motivate, inspire, reclaim, encourage, and most of all, deliver the hurting hearts of all men. For more information, email us at theheartsofmen@gmail.com. And don't forget, follow us every Saturday at 5 p.m. on UBM Talk.
Hello, this is Reverend Rick McCain, and I'm here with my baby, my girl, my boo, author Brenda McCain, and we're the hosts of the Let's Stay Together show.
That's right, baby, where you learn the rhythms of all relationships. We are bringing Holy Ghost fun to the internet and changing the way people communicate about quiet storms within their lives. We believe that to know our glory, you have to know what, baby?
Our backstory.
So come and take a ride on the McCain Train every Tuesday from 8 to 9 p.m. Woo, woo!
The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries.
Thank you for listening to UBM Talk.
Good evening and welcome to the Let's Stay Together show. I'm your host, Reverend Rick McCain, and I'm here with my baby, my girl, my boo, author Brenda McCain, who's fighting with the mic right now. Hey, we had some mic situations. Say something to me, girl.
Hey, radio world, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yes, I am fighting with the mic. Okay, let me get started
here. And it's
here.
winning.
No, it's not, baby. Anyway, welcome to the Let's Stay Together Talk radio show where we learn the rhythms of all relationships, and to know our glory, you have to know our backstory. Tonight's topic is about seniors dating. We're still here. Seniors just want to have fun. Long are the days of the rocking chair seniors. These feisty and sassy AARP members are trailblazing the dating scene by having fun and leaving the younger singles in a cloud of smoke when it comes to taking advantage of what life has to offer. The golden years are nothing but a number to them, especially when it comes to getting back out there and dating. They are the game changer when it comes to dating because they set the rules of the game. To help set the record straight about seniors dating, our guest tonight on the McCain Train is educator and activist Mr. William Scott, and Karon Hicks, moderator and founder of Just Want to Be Heard with Solutions. To learn more about our guests, please go to http://letsstaytogethershow.webs.com.
Hey, you got some scriptures you want to throw out there?
I got one good scripture.
Okay, come on now.
2 Timothy 2:22 says, "Flee also youthful lust, but follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace with them that call on the Lord out of a pure heart." That's what the word says about dating.
Hey, you know, I had the awesome pleasure of meeting this gentleman here at UBM. We were just talking at the first anniversary for UBM, and I just came up to him and we were talking about seniors, and he just blew me away with the intelligence, the wisdom that he had. And his spirit was just so alive. So, William, I am so happy to have you here. We had such a good time talking to each other then, and I'm looking for that excited person that I met then. How you doing today?
As they say, an honor and a pleasure to be here, you might say symbolically, of the seniors. But it should be pointed out that definitely not the stereotypical senior.
Oh, I said sassy and feisty, baby.
So, William, here's one of my questions I have for seniors, because I'm like about 53 myself. So I didn't get my AARP card coming as well. So, and hey, I'm happy about that. Anytime they can get a discount on anything, I'm happy. But when we were younger, now we're old, and the Bible says that you never seen the righteous forsaken. I want to know from you, what's the difference now between dating when you were younger and now that you're older?
Well, at this point in life, after you start counting the decades, when they say 80, that's a cumulative number. Mm-hmm. But when you actually get to the sociological and even Social Security, 65, as they use the term, a chronological senior, that was an awakening, if not an epiphany for me, because anybody truly busy living would hardly be concerned about a chronological benchmark such as 65 for Social Security purposes. So the only time it dawned upon me was when Social Security said, would you produce some documentation confirming the fact that you're 65? But prior to that point, it wasn't even an issue or a matter. So when you ask the question, well, what's the difference between the situation now and the previous 6.5 decades, it wasn't even on the radar. Same way as the real answer, it's not on the radar now, because it's all just, as the scientists would put it, a progression of time. Really, 65 versus 25 is just really a person's mental state of being.
But at the age of being older, do you look for different things? Because we're going to be honest here. We're always honest. As I was a young man, all I was looking for was one thing. That's all I was looking for. I'm going to be honest. It's called Let's Stay Together, and we stay together with honesty. I was only looking for one thing, but when I got older, I got more mature, and I got more knowledgeable about not just looking for one thing, but one specific thing or one special person. Does it change a little bit more when you get older? Are you looking for something even more specific at that time?
Well, depends on what you was looking for. What I was looking for as a person in the roaring 20s, as I refer to it, I had set my goals on a field of education while I was still in high school. So what I call my first love and true love was the field which I selected through what I consider to be divine anointment and inspiration. So I've been in love with education. That's why I haven't had what you might have thought was going to be the main topic, the ups and downs and roller coaster of all of these frivolous relationships. Of course, there's been marriage and children, and of course there was relationships really before that. But in retrospect now, I can see the true love was really to find a purpose and a mission through the field of education and inspiring young people. And that has not been forsaken, as the reference went in 2 Timothy, even though that made a reference to youthful, and that might give a senior an escape clause. But I would say that that's been the rock solid, consistency and the payback from those who love the Lord and know the Lord.
So, Karon, let me ask you this question. I'm going to let my wife start off with some of the questions. Karon, what is the difference that you see now with dating between the age that you were a little bit, like in your 20s, and now that you're a little bit older?
I know what I want.
Amen to that. You're right.
Simple as that. No pretending. He loves the stretch marks and, I'm just going to keep it real.
Hey, please do.
Real men know how a real woman looks when she's been a woman. So you don't deal with those issues of, I'm too fat here, I know what I want. I know what I want to do. No more pretending. I don't put up with certain things. Either it is or I got to be me. And I love getting older. The more older I get, I don't even waste anybody's time. I know it. And most of all, I want my mind stroked. If you can't stroke my mind, you wasting my time, for real.
Karen is bringing it, everyone.
I like that. I like
this
that.
is an adult
I'm
show,
serious.
and she want her mind stimulated. And I can relate
Yeah.
to that because when you older, it's like the light bulb goes off,
Yes.
your aha moment, and you
Yes.
say, this is all I'm accepting, nothing less. And like you said, a real woman know her body. She know what she have to work with. If a real man can't handle that, he is not the man for you.
And
So-
even the word says, I rather you get with a mate instead of burn. It didn't mean burn in hell.
Right.
It meant burn, lustful, seriously. So we got to pretend. I'm not about to have any more babies. So the next step is for my passion. I'm going to satisfy my passion. And if you can't do that, I'm not even going to pretend with you. I'm not going to waste a moment.
So do me a favor, Karen. Talk to some of these young ladies right now that need to understand that you're not just looking for a man for the looks. There's got to be a little bit more about him, and that comes sometimes with age. That you've got to understand that there's more to a man than just what you see.
Oh, most definitely. Today, I feel sorry for the young women today. For
I
real.
do too.
You're not getting what we had real men, and real men just didn't do certain things, and then they did certain things. Real men we courted.
Yep.
He's gonna bring you flowers. He's gonna chase. Cause see, a real man is a natural born hunter.
Amen.
If he can't hunt, the game
Preach,
is over.
Karen, preach.
And that's where we at today, girl. A lot of women don't know what it means to be loved and to be put on a pedestal. I give love freely because I've been loved freely, and my father showed me that. My father, my earth father, told me. He showed me what a man's supposed to do. And a real man would never want another man to take care of what he wants. So today, I really wouldn't want to be young. I love being old. I love it. I love it.
You love the
I
season.
love me. Yes.
Karen is in love with
Seriously.
her, and I love it too. Now, speaking of here, Mr. William Scott, I'm just want to divert to him. When she said a real man, what are some of the qualities and traits you look for in the dating scene now when you're trying to court a beautiful young woman at heart?
Well, I'm glad you said what I don't look for in a real man. I'm glad we got that cleared up.
Okay.
You the real man, what you look for in a real woman.
Fortunately, there's been no ambivalence there, despite the interesting social revolution that's raging. In fact, a tsunami, you might say, of a social revolution. Well, mine has always been the same. Like a child of Hollywood, it's always been the Hollywood image. Couldn't escape it. I grew up with the great movie stars of MGM and 20th Century Fox, so therefore that set the standards for me.
So that explains it then, huh?
Well,
Okay.
I was just, and then to really reach my teenage period with Marilyn Monroe on the screen, and you're sitting there in the movie theaters, 14, 15, and 16, and there's Marilyn going down the street in movies, Some Like It Hot, look at even the title of the movies, and hanging out of this famous window scene on the East Side apartment, or standing over the subway grate in Times Square, and her skirt blowing up in that historic, iconic picture, which turned out later to be a sculpture, 20 feet taller than she actually was. But I distinctly remember, and I've even traced who I was infatuated, enamored, and eventually even in love and married. And I can trace it right through Hollywood, USA.
So let me ask you this.
It wasn't a person
Yeah.
I was ever involved with, which I couldn't almost, you might say, find the template to match a particular movie star.
So let me ask you this question. So you're talking about that. So what defined you as a man to make you the man that kind of Karen was talking about, the one that would swoon a woman or would open up a door or walk on the right side of the street? Because that's something that's lost right now. So maybe speak to some of the young men right now to talk about those old-fashioned values that still should be instilled today.
Oh, it was automatic to me, despite the Hollywood image of who I was hunting and looking for.
Right.
And I remember my favorite aunt told me, she said, you don't even really enjoy the capture, you enjoy the pursuit more than even the hunt. I remember that. I was sitting in her kitchen trying to get that sageful advice from my favorite aunt, Shirley, in New York City. And she watched who I brought home from school in the afternoon, in high school and in college, and the pattern of who I consider to be dates at the family occasion. And so she said, I can see you are definitely about the hunt, but it wasn't even the least bit concerned with the final phases of that. But what Karon was getting to was just automatically, fortunately for my fabulous child of the 50s and 60s and 70s, my upbringing and childhood, there was no such question as not opening the door, not seeing someone seated. In other words, all the courtesies that go along with, I guess the phrase would be these days, a gentleman or chivalrous cavalier. All of that to me is a given. I just couldn't even imagine it any other way.
But what is it now, and I'm going to go to Karon about this as well, what is it now? Is it because we've lost that kind of understanding from generation to generation where young men now don't care about opening the door, they won't buy flowers, they won't do things to swoon or show attention? What is it now that where we had that back then? Because even in my day, I grew up where you had to respect everybody on the block. There's no respect at all. How do we now, as being seniors dating, how do we portray that to the younger men to teach them the right way to date a young lady?
One of the phrases that goes, despite the unfortunate number of single-parent homes and most of those single parents being the mother, it does take a man to raise a male child. And the values which I just referred to were values that were transmitted to me by the men that I grew up around, and also by, fortunately, that was the last of the culture being transmitted by movies, book, TV, radio, and even the pulpit, and by the last of the men of that tradition. But once, I guess I would call it, all bets were off with Supreme Court decisions and the sexual revolution and Playboy magazine and Hugh Hefner, and then I refer to it as thuggery. Today's dating game, which I see, is almost more in the realm of, to me, thuggery. One's tattooing, piercing, the hip-hop, the rap, the being beat up by your boyfriend and getting back to him with a public arena to witness it, and who are recognized as the icons, and the acceptance of babies before marriage by the superstars of the world. The very fact of pregnancy was considered a damnable shame during the 40s, 50s, and 60s, whereas now it's not even any news.
Right.
It's not even any news.
Mm-hmm. It's nothing new. So this makes me want to ask you, do you guys believe in, I'm going to shoot to Karon, in online dating?
Yeah, well, yeah, because love is possible anywhere.
Okay. So that's not a problem with you?
It's not a problem.
Okay, Mr. Scott, is it a problem with you?
I wouldn't even entertain it for the simple reason I'm fortunately in so many circles where the real thing is there. Why would I look online when I can look over my shoulder and select in the circles that I'm orbiting?
Now, where do you meet singles at?
When you stay in motion. I'm physically in motion 16 and 18 hours a day. So whether I'm in church circles, on college campuses, the business world, the cultural world, the restaurant set.
That's where you would meet them at, huh?
What I call singles, it must be male and female. So with any of the single sets that I'm in, as they say, the harvest is plentiful.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So the harvest is plentiful. Okay. So the harvest is plentiful.
Male and female.
Okay, so that means that, you're out there and you're dating. Tell me some of the things that are going on right now with senior dating.
Well, once again, I really believe you'd have to almost divide that into three categories. And the first one I would put is stereotypical. That's the public misconception that seniors are not dating, seniors much less not even preoccupied or concerned with sex. And therefore, for some people, it's still even an uncomfortable topic, which I don't think they would even approach to their beloved and traditional grandparents. Mm-hmm. I don't even think, if you look at the way society has put us all into those grooves, so as to say, there's young people who have, all young people, if they're fortunate, have two sets of grandparents, and they still might visit on the traditional occasion. But to go into those realms and say, hey, Graham, so, what's happening, on the dating scene if that grandfather happened to be a widower or if their own grandmother happened to be a widow. And I don't even think that topic would be broached by grandchildren or their own children, unfortunately, because it's just not one of the topics that is considered polite or appropriate in the normal interfamily interactions going on.
Hey, Karon, do you find that with seniors, are they dating around about the same age? Is it they don't want to date someone their age? Are men, and maybe, you can also answer that, are men dating younger? Karon, talk to me about that age group that seniors. Are they dating the same age group, or are they looking for someone younger?
No, the men are looking for something younger, and I don't blame them. I'm not even finna pretend, because it's men and women are totally different in the sex life. Let's really keep it real. A woman, you can sweet talk her and do certain things, and she's satisfied after a certain age. But a man, I really feel sorry for men. Because
you feel sorry for us because of what?
Right.
Because y'all shallow.
Right.
Okay. I rebuke that, but go ahead.
they stay stimulated. And I just, I'm a reader of the word. And if you read the word, majority of those men in there marry women much younger, because if you have a woman the same age, at some point the woman is going to become content. I just look at David's story. If anybody pay attention to that story, when Bathsheba, when David was dying, went and got a pretty young thing to sit by his bed just for him to gaze upon. Mm-hmm. See, we got this all twisted, and it's if we really read the word will show us how to go. It's a certain time women get to a certain point where really sex is not a big thing. It's not an issue, and there's nothing wrong with you because it's not an issue. I have my friends that they tell me I have a dog, and they make jokes out of my dog. I'm content. I'm satisfied. And matter of fact, I am a very sexy woman, and I don't mean that in no type of vain way, but I know how to do me. And a lot of women, they don't know how to do them. And most men today, they're not giving women what we're used to getting, because most women, girls, have turned men out sexually.
Well, I'm not going to touch that one, but I know for a man, what was that word you call us? We're simple, or we're fickle, or something. Shallow. If I'm shallow at 65 and I still want to have sex, my name is Shallow.
There you go. I'm not mad at you.
Because at 65, I'm still going to have sex. My name would be Reverend Rick Shallow McCain.
And you should
and
be
I
able
will
to
be
produce.
content,
Right.
Brenda.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we need to get a new show instead of Let's Stay Together. Hold on, Tracy wants to add something in there. Can you talk, Tracy? Okay.
Okay.
And I apologize. I said I wasn't going to talk today, but I have to say what Karon is saying is absolutely true. Because the older we get, and I'm 51, the less, am I saying it right, inhibited you become as a woman, and you do not have those same hang-ups that you used to have. And I think it's because the children are gone out of, the household usually. And like you said, you're not worrying about getting pregnant anymore. You're sexually freer. And you know what you want by now from a man. And it's just so weird because Karon seems so, hey, bang, bang, I'm out there. And then we have this romantic gentleman over here. William sounds so romantic to me. Yeah. And I think that's what women want to hear, but we don't have a problem saying, okay, you're going to throw me on the couch too.
Right.
But I really, this is freaking me out that I'm getting just opposite than what I expected.
Well, one part that I would like to say this in defense of how did you describe it? Why do the older men select younger women? In my observations, one reason that you would find seniors in their 60s, 70s, and 80s with 20s and 30-year-old women is because there are numerous women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s who are, shall I recall it, recovering relationship victims who are really obsessing with husband one, husband two, bad relationship this, what happened to them while they was in high school. I mean, Some women carry that for 4 and 5 generations, and if there's someone, I'll put it in my category. If I'm going out after this show, which would be my style, because this is early for me. If I was going out, the last thing I want to go out to a nice place up north, or a few of the new places like on 53rd Street and Lake Park Avenue, and sitting in an outdoor restaurant, would be to sit down at an outdoor table and then hear someone, while the glasses are there, sparkling, to have them start taking the whole evening to tell me what went wrong in marriage number 2. And I think the men that literally gravitate towards younger women, the main reason is not because of just the age, is because there's still the innocence and the spark of life where they have not been victimized by the brutes and the thugs out there. And some, unfortunately, too many women have not recovered from horrific, abusive, negative relationships of their bad choices and decisions covering decades. And I say that sincerely because it's not just a thing, I want something 20 to 30, I want something no more than 35 or 40, even though me personally, it would be absolutely inconceivable for me to even consider someone my age, since I'm an unbelievable 74.
Oh, no.
And the idea of me dating someone 74, I don't believe there's anyone in the market that could keep up with where I am at 74.
So I've got to ask this question. I got to ask this question to Karen. So he was talking about how many women are hurt by husband or boyfriend 1, 2, 3, 4. How do we help those women in a relationship with a man so they're not discussing those issues?
Because I remember one time I did a karaoke show, and all the young girls was like, "Oh, Miss Karen, do Tyrone, that movie Tyrone,
Call Tyrone."
Call Tyrone.
And I said, "No." And she said, "Because we can all relate." I said, "No, I can't relate. I have never in my life had a Tyrone. I have never in my life had a bad relationship. Every relationship, marriage that I've been in, they have treated me like the queen that I am. I've never been in a bad relationship. I'm not saying that we didn't have issues, but my mother taught me to think like a woman, act like a lady, and we're on a Christian show, right?
Well, bring it to us, girl. We'll pray over it later. Go ahead.
Think like a woman, act like a lady, and be that freak in the bedroom.
Oh yeah, all mama
but we don't do it. We
Mm-hmm.
a man has an imagination that he must use.
Yes.
And the girls today don't let men use their imagination.
So they show everything, tell everything, do everything.
Like this young lady who's sitting by me, I just met her not too long ago, and she is, and I've been telling her, I haven't met a queen like this since my time. A queen. And a queen is...
What is the queen's name?
Brianna, BK.
She over there, as she's putting on her lipstick, as you're talking about her, as she's showing her queenness off over there.
Right, and she's such a lady. What's your name?
My name is Brianna Kelly, but you can call me BK for short.
BK, okay, Miss BK.
And I haven't met one of these in a while. She's a perfect lady. We don't get that. You know, they had that book out, Think Like a Man. No. Think like a woman, act like a lady, and get treated like a queen. I've been treated
and
like a queen.
You always get the man.
There you go.
Way.
All my life, I've never had an issue because there's certain things I just don't put up with. If I'm dating you and you say you're at my house at 6 and you're not there, I'm not there. I don't do all that. Right.
We don't wait on men. If a man do not call you, do not call him.
There you go.
Because you are the prize, ladies.
There
you are the prize.
So now we talking about seniors or just ladies in general?
Seniors,
young ladies like BK. That's a lesson for her to learn too.
And so what the seniors are telling us right now is that you're telling the younger ladies not to sit there and wait on a man. If he's going to do what he's going to do, he's going to do it.
Right, and don't try to do what a man does.
Hey, we're going to go to the break right now. You've been listening to our show, the Let's Stay Together show. Seniors just want to have fun. We'll be right back after these station identification breaks.
Tune in to City Life on UBM Talk, representing urban life, our city, our people, one love, with commentary by Nina D and CJ. Your pathway to insight, awareness, and unity. The heart of City Life, Tune in Thursdays 8 to 9 on UBM Talk. That's City Life. Thursdays 8 to 9 on UBM Talk. Let's get it.
My name is Coach Thomas. I am a fitness, health, and nutrition coach and member of the Illinois Governor's Council on Health and Physical Fitness. Make sure you check out Change for the Better with Coach Thomas Sunday nights from 7 to 8 p.m. We will discuss topics and feature guests that will give you helpful tips and advice on how to create healthier habits that will lead to a healthier lifestyle. Make sure you check out Change for the Better with Coach Thomas, where we focus on healthy kids and healthy communities.
Tune in to Change for the Better with Coach Thomas, Sundays 7 to 8 p.m. only on Urban Broadcast Media.
Hello, this is Leon Finney, your host of Another Perspective on UrbanBroadcastMedia.com. We are the voice of Black America. Join me and my guests every Saturday from 4 to 5 p.m. as we discuss the issues that impact Black America. Tune in to UBM Talk on UrbanBroadcastMedia.com, the simulcast on our affiliate station WBON 1690 AM. That's Another Perspective every Saturday from 4 to 5 p.m. And you can run and tell that.
Hello, everyone. My name is Zoe. I'm the host of the Hearts of Men Intimate Talk Hour, heard every Saturday at 5 o'clock on UBM Talk. This hour is designed to motivate, inspire, reclaim, encourage, and most of all, deliver the hurting hearts of all men. For more information, email us at theheartsofmen@gmail.com. And don't forget, follow us every Saturday at 5 p.m. on UBM Talk.
Urban Broadcast Media, proudly broadcasting from studios located in the Bronzeville community in the city of Chicago. Heard around the world at urbanbroadcastmedia.com. UBM Talk, servicing the community and beyond.
Hey, welcome back to the Let's Stay Together show. We're talking about seniors just want to have fun. Not singers, but seniors just want to have fun. Hey, baby, go ahead with those announcements that we get.
Hey, everyone, I have a couple announcements. Next week's show is about single parents. They stepped out when I needed them to step in, raising my children alone. Also, to donate to the Let's Stay Together Talk radio show, please go to www.indiegogo.com. That's INDIEGOGO.com. Special announcement. R&J Productions, the company that brought you Voice of a Child, Living Without Love, and Desperate, is hosting a free viewing party for the hot stage play Desperate, written and directed by Richard Gallion, R&J Productions. The first 50 viewers will receive free chicken from their sponsor, Uncle Remus. Or am I saying that right? Is it Uncle Remus?
Uncle Remus.
Uncle Remus. After the viewing, there will be a Q&A session, pictures and signings of the DVDs with the cast. If you're interested in hosting a movie night, please call 773-653-7424 and be sure to say Brittany Hayes, our daughter, sent you.
Hey, I want to do a play it forward right now. Just before about today at 6 p.m. from 7 p.m. Tuesdays, every Tuesday, it's the Scoochie Show. Local talent they're talking about for R&B, hip-hop, and what they call it, rap music. It's called the Scoochie Show. It comes on at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. every Tuesday. Hey, if you're listening to this show, just come a couple of hours early, listen to the show, and just stay on UBM. Also, you can be a caller right now. Call us at 312-754-4333. If you know a single, if you are a single, call in and talk to us about single dating and how you've experienced it and you're good and bad. The telephone number again is 312-754-4333. Baby, do your thing.
Okay, I'm going to do my thing if you don't mind with William.
Okay.
Mr. William, what are some dating
I'm a little bit afraid about that because William's a sharp brother.
He is. He is. He's debonair. That's his word. What are some dating concerns the seniors have right now in our society?
Well, once again, I always have to stay true to being a Gemini. So when you say seniors, I separate myself from what I call the stereotypical senior. Because the stereotypical senior, I think society and the media incorrectly portray someone in a nursing home, in a wheelchair, with a bib underneath their chin, nurses coming around giving them medication, assisted living, or the one coming closer to home, heaven forbid, my neighbors, those on the benches in front of senior buildings here
Feed
in
the
Chicago.
pigeons now. Feed the pigeons.
There's one that feeds the squirrels and they come up in his lap in my building.
Oh.
or in the winter inside the lobby. So now, when you get that picture, that's where I could see why the public may not think, what dating game behind that dreary picture. And that, unfortunately, I flee from that each day because I just say hi and bye, and I come back and, you know, they're there. They know I've been out for an interesting 12, 14 to 16 hours every day. Praise the Lord.
So tell me about the excitement of senior dating. So do the reverse. Give me the excitement about it.
For those who are and the ones I see on the scene that I go to, now I'll give you an example. When I go to Gallery Gashard, when it was down there on the low end, 35th and King Drive, or now at its new location, Bronzeville, 47th Street. When I make the scene, I see some very debonair, fashionable, intellectual, artistic, creative, entrepreneurial, verbal seniors that, to me, represent the element that I definitely want to, as I call it, hobnob with. Mm-hmm. Those are not the seniors. Those are not the seniors, unfortunately, which make me very nervous. The ones that are on the benches in the lobby of senior buildings or in this season venture a few feet further in front. That concerns me because, to me, it suggests a resignation that it's all over. And I know better. My view is, whereas you are awakened in the morning, you're supposed to take the true phrase, this is the day the Lord has made,
Amen.
Rejoice and be glad in it. And I know that gladness is not on no bench in the lobby of a senior building or in front of the building. That just really, really bothers me.
All right. Hey, Karen, can you add on to that? What was that question again, baby?
What are some dating concerns for seniors?
Let me see. What are some dating concerns that they're, that they might be set in their ways or don't want to try anything new, and life is the only thing that is consistent is change, and the only thing we own is the moment. So if we're together, we need to capture those moments. As I'm still living, you still living, and neither one of us are on any type of medication and no restrictions, and we're both adults, and we both are proud of the creation God has made. Let's explore.
Okay, now when I'm thinking of concerns and stuff, I'm not targeting you, William, but it is sometimes when it comes to, let's say, income worries or something, how do we, collaborate? But if you're getting serious with someone, how do you, collaborate both for the incomes, the sex issue that you told you're part of that, and like your family reaction to something if you got serious this late in the game, and it's like, well, who's daddy bringing over up in here? I don't, especially if they're younger. Is this a gold digger or something trying to get us money? Do you have concerns about stuff like that?
That's funny because my family would be shocked just reverse. If I came home with someone older during the holidays, they say he must be slipping.
Okay.
No, as I make the family scene, Thanksgiving in Jackson, Mississippi, Christmas maybe in New York, another season in L.A. As I orbit my family, spread out in two sides of the country, and in the middle, on those occasions where I would be bringing someone, quote, with me home for the holidays, usually on our way to someplace in a warm climate, just happen to be going through their cold climates. But they would really never expect me to arrive, watch the phrase, with a senior citizen. They just know there's no way in the world I would get off the plane. It's almost even funny to me with a senior because, first, as Karen just pointed out, anybody who's serious about where you are in life, and I say this sincerely, I know Timuel Black, who's in his 90s, and I knew Margaret Burroughs in her 90s. I know quite a few people in Chicago in their 90s. Now, some might be in marriages and nice relationships and so forth, but the people that I have observed even 10 and 20 years older than me in their 80s and 90s, as I said, when I'm on the social scene, they are full of life, and they are still living life. the seniors that I put into the stereotypical category, for whatever reasons, they seem to be in a state of resignation. And the big event will be when their children decide to come over once or twice a month or a year, when the grandkids could come by for a little bit of grandchildren antics and so forth and so on. But their life, from what I observe, is one of resignation and, in too many instances, one of aloneness, which doesn't necessarily mean lonely, but definitely aloneness. A senior in a dwelling all alone, and maybe that's why I have this overachieving aspect of mine. I just refuse to be sitting down doing nothing, and definitely, not that I'm afraid of my image, I have no intentions of being alone other than when I just fall asleep and I'm waiting to get up the next morning after sleep. But not aloneness, because to me that's almost, I view that as a pre-state of, death in the next life, the way too many seniors are warehoused in those type of situations.
So let me ask you this, William. I remember a movie, but they had it on the Twilight Zone. It was called Kick the Can. And people were they were old and they didn't want to do anything anymore. But this one man was saying, "Come on, let's have some fun like we used to. Let's kick the can." So let me ask you this much: talk to the seniors who are just sitting down and they've forgotten about kicking the can. How do you get them back up and alive again? Not sitting there waiting for that one relative every so often to come visit them, but going to the scenes and the things that you do.
Just like you just put it, it's as simple as, instead of, as I said, sitting on the bench in front of their building, including the one I reside in, and I won't give the address, won't be able to get back in there tonight, but instead of sitting on the bench, why would you not get up and go to the fabulous social scene of the DeSable Museum under the stars and in this balmy Florida and California weather for free out there during each of the 8 weekends of the summer?
But what if they can't get? What if they can't get there? Is there Is there somewhere that Because some people don't. I don't know how you get around. You probably have so many people taking you around. It's really not a problem.
I'm on public transportation, and I go as far as the Metro trains will take me. I'll go as far as CTA and RTA will take me. And then on a rare occasion, I can actually call something called senior service, and I can say, can you pick me up here and take me to Midlothian? In other words, where there's a will, Reverend, where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah. So if a person literally is determined not to be bench-locked or landlocked, I can literally plan out the rest of it. In fact, I know where I'm going to be from what's tomorrow, Wednesday to Sunday. There's things already booked way in advance, and I'm already looking towards September and Thanksgiving plans and Christmas and New Year's plans. Because to me, it's always unfolding plans.
You then. How do we get on your calendar? Okay, this man is off the chain. Yeah. I know some sassy female seniors, and it's like, wow, you seem like you do a lot.
He does.
You stay busy. I love the fact when I said, how do you meet singles? And you said, as long as you're moving in emotion in the places you're talking about. He paints a story to make you want to go to these places. Because I'm like, Rick, we need to make a date night and hang out with him or something.
Well, I'm going to ask you this question. Is there anything that's out there for seniors who want to get around? Is there any kind of organization or clubs that help them or sponsor events that they may need to know it or where they can go to find out about these events? Karen, if you know something about that, add on to there.
Yeah, like out in Dalton at the Dorchester, they have line dancing,
right,
and the seniors go out there. They have seniors that do poker night and skating, and it's plenty of things for seniors to do.
But they have to have the heart.
They have to have the heart,
off the bench to do
this. Get off the, because he's right. When I give him a lift home, I just get tickled at all the people sitting on the bench. And Mr. Scott then did 2,100 things in a day.
And in fact, the real cap-off, in fact, if I looked at the clock, when this show is over, normally I would have my swimming gear for LA Fitness because what would be fun would be to go swimming and then go into the steam room and then go recline in the jacuzzi and read a bestseller, which I read, just put a towel underneath my head, do that for about an hour and a half, and it's still early. It's still early.
Oh, I have a bestseller book for you to read. Walking Upright by Brenda McCain. Get that and read it, okay? You too, Karen.
Or you can just give it to him. But
But notice one thing Karen just said, and she probably wasn't even aware of it. Karen slipped right into the stereotypical. She said, oh, sure, there's plenty of things for them to do. There's senior poker, senior bingo, senior line dance. See, what I'm getting at, I'm not going in there with a senior-only thing. That wouldn't be any fun to me because I think you fall victim to seniors can only have fun with seniors. Right. And I reject that out of hand anymore because to me, if there was a 60 or 70-year-old senior single woman and she wanted to be in the 30s or 40s or even 20 scene, why should she be locked in with just the seniors at her place of residence?
Okay, so you didn't throw out, I was going to ask, are there boundaries when seniors are
Not
dating?
for me.
See, you like, it's no boundaries.
Well,
Karen,
Mr. Scott is a rare, seriously. I mean, I go so much with this man, I'd be like, I got to slow down. Mr. Scott is phenomenal, for real, seriously. He is physically, mentally, he's creative. He teaches the youth how to use their creativity, and that's something we need. We're not using our creativity. There's new things to be discovered, and that's what I love about him because he pushes that. No matter how old you are, he pushes the creativity to come out.
Well, I seen him in action last week, and I was fairly impressed because I said, this man could work the governor and the mayor and Brenda at the same time, and you just be and you just be in awe of him because it's like this is his show, his hour. But speaking of this show, our hour, I wanted to know with either one of you, is chemistry important while dating as a senior? Because I know with you said boundaries out the door. So Karen, is chemistry important to you?
I believe it is. You know, it's just like it's like perfume. You know, a lot of women think that the most expensive perfume is where it's at. It's what goes with your chemistry. It could be a 50-cent bottle of perfume, but if it match your chemistry.
And that's the one you get the compliments on.
And it's the chemistry. You know, we know that one that put a spark in us. You know, you feel it. They could walk in the room, and it's even if you all never touch, you get the tingles. Don't nobody say tingles no more. You know, the thrill is feeling the tingles, you know, and we don't get much of that anymore. Like I said, I like being older. I love it, love it, love it.
So you're embracing this very well.
I love it.
You know, I love being old too, and I think we said this. I think Karen said I would never want to be young, like in this generation now, because they've missed so much about what it means to grow old, the benefits and the joy and the things that you learn from that. And I want to go back to you, William, because I want to talk about some of the seniors who are not as lively as you are, that are sitting on that. We're talking about dating, and they don't even want to get off of the bench. How do we get them off of that bench?
Well, I think when you just said, that was interesting, you said older and younger. I'm absolutely convinced that I'll take the Frank Sinatra tune sincerely, young at heart.
Yeah.
Thank God that will never have a chronological lock. Because in sitting here in a physical and chronological state of 74, I can assure you, I have never mentally, spiritually, and physically, that's a blessing since there's no medication.
Amen.
I have never left the young at heart spirit. And when Brenda saw me surrounded by 13 to 15-year-olds in a frantic student mock debate, which no one thought was going to take place. No one thought the governor was actually going to come. I recruited, first, I knew before I even met those young people that who I needed for that debate would be and whomsoever was sent my way. I knew that before the program started. Therefore, the first day of that program, within 1 hour, I knew who would play that role of Governor Quinn. Sierra Holiday was sparkling the first time I saw her in our orientation session the first day. So what the Reverend was just referring to, I'm convinced if you're blessed with that young at heart spirit, there is no such thing as never grow old. And I've heard that on the great James Cleveland albums and
I like,
never grow old.
I like that Frank Sinatra song, too.
Okay,
so.
young at heart.
Young at heart,
see, it's not just a throwaway phrase.
Yeah.
Because some people, they say age is just a number. you're as old as you feel and so forth and so on or think. But from the way I'm observing this, and I'm glad at least I have the testimony up to this second, because I'm bold enough and faithful enough to recognize this actual second is a divine blessing, which I have no lock on the next second.
So are we saying that, I'm just throwing this out there, do you need to be around younger people as a senior to feel that liveliness? Is it something wrong about being around someone your age? Is there something wrong with being around that same age, or do you need that to bring some vibrant back into your life? Karen, you can talk on that.
He'll be sitting on the bench.
Yeah, you need energy. We need energy.
Yeah.
You need energy. And if that energy if it's still there at 74, then get around it. But if it's not, get around that energy. And most young people have that energy. We're energy. Without that energy, we're dead.
I want to say on this, and I love my mother because she's a feisty senior. She's married now.
And she has a daughter like that, too.
And I'm feisty, too. But my mom always used to teach Sunday school youth. Mm-hmm. And she said, Brenda, they keep me vibrant. They keep her young. Mm-hmm. She always ran the streets, and she still does that. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm like, lady, you have so much energy. And she said, once you sit down, you become idle. Ooh. And that makes me think of you. You keep it moving, it moving. No bench warmers here. That's all I have to say.
So here's my questions. We're getting into the final stop at the McCain Train. William, give me one thing that a senior that's sitting down doing nothing, one step forward that they need to do.
I think they need to really look at what am I going to, it's still early tonight, for example. What am I going to do a little bit more exciting tonight? And then the real planning comes in. Like I said, I'm already up to the Christmas and New Year's holidays, and I'm already planning to flee the Chicago winter by stacking. The more I stacked, the further I knew I could get away, and the longer. So I really think the secret is in planning. Mm-hmm. And I do link it to the phrase I didn't get a chance to comment. Chemistry in relationship to me is just about 100%. Because I stay in probably the most quantitative number of interactions during the day, and which is nice. But the rarity of relationship, and that's what Karen is really a romantic. But the way chemistry comes in, it's either going to click or it's not going to click. And the excitement is while you're out there in orbit, that's the phrase I use, those rare occasions when you do come across someone where there is the chemistry, there is the magic, there is the moment. And that's almost like I guess you can call it, it's a treasure hunt. Because you do not know where, you do not know who, you do not know when. And I know it's not going to happen on the benches, but at least if you're out there, in orbit, there's chance, who knows where.
So, Karen, answer that for me. Give me one thing that a senior who's sitting on the bench, give them one step forward that they need to do to get to the point where Mr. William Scott is at.
Invest in the youth. Oh. If you invest in the youth. That the youth feeds off of you, and you feed off the youth. Invest in the youth. What's that phrase in the Bible? An old wineskin can't take new wine. We have to empty out. And in order to receive more, because as long as you live, and you're going to receive more, but you got to empty out. Feed it into the youth. Get around the youth. And as you feed, you want more. You want more.
And there is a point. I would like to say this before time elapses. I think this was a brilliant stroke on this marvelous married ministerial couple to even bring this topic to the forefront, because this should not be a taboo topic or a closet topic. And this, fortunately, could be a catalyst in getting more seniors to think about it, because it does physically disturb me to see sedimentary seniors sitting there doing nothing. In fact, maybe that's one reason I flee so frequently and flee so far, because I just cannot envision me sitting down on a bench unless I was physically immobile in here, and that was it.
So now let me ask you, the places the seniors are at when they're at like the locations, are they doing anything there to help the seniors at all, or is it just, you're living here, you find out what you need to do on your own?
Well, all of the senior facilities under Chicago Housing Authority and under HUD have activities director, quote unquote. But when I asked one of them about this more energetic activities calendar, they said our primary concern is just finding out health issues and next of
Make
kin.
sure-
And next of kin.
Make sure you take your medicine.
Yeah, that
Next of
phrase,
kin,
next
right.
of kin.
Right.
In case something happens.
In case something happens. You
That
know.
was it.
Yeah.
They said activities is really not the primary responsibility, or one was even so blunt as to put it, not even her salary responsibility. Because I once called up another building, and I said, I heard that you all have a great activities calendar. Can you share it? Well, we're having a good time, and we don't need to partner with you all. And that's, it was a real put down.
Well, you know what I did? Well, I had a transportation service where we transported elderly people and mentally disturbed people every day, and 400 people a day. And you know what I used to play with them? What's when you put the chairs down and the music goes?
Okay,
musical chairs.
Chairs,
And the
yeah.
nursing home stopped me, but they had the time of their life.
I know they did.
Oh, they
It's
had
almost
the-
like playing kick the
oh
can.
my
you know?
goodness.
That's competitive.
Right,
They
yeah.
came back to life.
Yeah.
Seriously, we would play ring around the chair, musical chairs,
that
and
is
they
fun,
came
though.
back to life.
Yeah, because they were more concerned about the medical problem.
Right,
like,
so the
getting
nursing home,
sued or something like
the
that.
nursing
yeah.
home stopped me. So what I would do on the weekend, I would take a bus load to my home. That's when I had a big backyard, and I would let them play out in the backyard.
Yeah, and it's great that you do that because what it does is that it brings them back to life again. Mr. Scott, I want you to give me a couple of places that seniors who are just sitting down, here are some places you can go.
DeSable Museum.
Yes.
I'm telling you, Dr. Carol Adams and Pomone Ramey there, they keep an eclectic social calendar
Eclectic,
going.
this is my man.
That I mean, I know all you have to do is look at DeSable in August. It's a field day.
Yeah.
Look at it for September.
You know, you
Gallery,
just go ahead.
Gallery Gachard also. I was naming the places that I know. It's surefire for me.
Okay.
DeSable Museum, Gallery Gachard, and then, of course, the great museum campus and cultural places downtown. I mean, they have Shed Aquarium Jazz Night, Field Museum, this one under the star. I mean,
Movie in the park.
it just goes on and on and on.
Karen, you got some places?
Every place he said. I just got to tell you, I met Mr. Scott. I gave a forum September the 14th of 2013, just want to be heard, and my leg had given out. This man worked the room like it was his forum. I had to get to know him. I have literally been with this man every day since September the 14th, and the chemistry and the energy with us, sky's the limit. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. They told me that I wouldn't be able to walk. Being with Mr. Scott, I've gained weight, but I'm walking.
Okay. Well,
he's
rubbed
phenomenal.
off in a
Yes,
good
he's phenomenal.
way.
He really is.
Yeah,
Wow.
you know, that's one of the reasons why I was so happy to have him on the show because he's just so energetic. And
He
you
is.
made me think about the old days and, radios like, this is an eclectic time with William Scott here on UBM. It's just those good times when you just, everything you heard just sounded magical.
Yes.
And I think a lot of times with seniors, we've lost that magic. We forgot that magic is still in us. And all we need to do is something like you. Go out and do that. Kick the can, musical chairs, do things that are fun and exciting. And we've just stopped doing that, So I thank you all for definitely coming to the show and sharing with some of the seniors what they can do. And I hope that some of those programs that you're talking about that we're going to put on our Facebook page, that they will look at and know that those programs out there. Now, what are you doing coming soon? You got all these plans. What senior event, or any event, I should say, that you have that's coming up soon?
I'm going to spin the globe as a special treat for me and just happen to go any place I want to go.
Hey,
I'm so excited about that, I can't contain myself.
Hey, that's great. Karen, what you going to be doing?
Well, right now we're working on something great. We're working on one of the largest peace rallies in the South Suburb for September the 20th, where we're putting our time into the youth. We're letting the youth put on this rally because I have to say this, the so-called leaders of our community evidently is not getting the ears of those that's supposed to bring the resources in. So we're putting our youth on top as the so-called leaders to bring resources to our community so our children can be energetic.
Hey, we about to get ready to go. I just want you all to let you know that we've got next week's show that's called Single Parent. They stopped by when I needed them and stepped out when I was trying to raise them. I said that all wrong, but just listen to Single Trap next week. This is Reverend Rick McCain with my baby, my girl, my boo. This is the Let's Stay Together show. We see you next Tuesday at 8 p.m.